What is going on, everyone? Hello and welcome back. You're into another edition of Next Gen Jets. Appreciate you all joining us here on this Saturday evening, May 31st, 2025. Here with you, as always, on this Saturday evening, Chris Grasso, Connor Long. Appreciate all your support here on the show. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. It's completely free and it helps us grow significantly. Your last show to get into the membership raffle for this month. We're drawing the winners on tomorrow's Sunday show, actually, fittingly so. A Sauce Gardner signed jersey, Kevin Y signed mini helmet, Aaron Glenn signed trading card, Jonathan Vilma signed photo, Bart Scott signed photo, a free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji. Every $2.99 super chat or gifted membership will get you an opportunity to win. The more entries you have, the higher chance you have of taking home a prize. Appreciate all your support. Like I said, smash the like, hit subscribe, throw your questions in the chat for us. Call into the show with the pinned comment. Chris, busy day for you. You were a country mile away from the swamplands, and you didn't even bother reaching out or asking for a sub because you just knew either the Knicks series would be over entering tonight or they would get slaughtered and it would just end in Indiana.
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm not sure if you threw that in there at the end, but obviously the Knicks are going to take it home tonight, force a Game 7. Then we're going on to the NBA title game. So we are chilling. Title series. But listen, Knicks in 7. We knew this from the start. We know the Knicks are the best comeback team, a better road team than home team. So we're chilling. I'm not worried about it. Jalen Brunson is clutch king, so we're chilling.
Where I want to start is something that occurred yesterday on the Jake Asman show. I was filling in for Jake, and I had ESPN senior NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler on the show, where he told us Jet fans that the New York Jets have already begun contract negotiations for an extension with star wide receiver Garrett Wilson and star cornerback, Sauce Gardner. Let's take a listen. Jeremy, the Jets picked up their fifth-year options for the 2026 season. Yeah. When do you think an extension gets banged out for these guys? Is it this offseason? You see something happening potentially before the start of the year? Do you think the Jets ultimately wait till next offseason to make these guys Jets for long term?
I do believe there's a chance they get something done. Most front offices now are going to at least try to be proactive if you have a marquee guy, which I think in Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, they certainly do, because it's only going to cost you more a year from now. That seems to be the trend. Even a couple years ago, you would only pay quarterbacks or maybe a pass rusher who was 3 years into a first-round rookie deal, which means they still had 2 years of contractual control with the fifth-year option. I do think that's slightly changing now, so you could see a deal. And, in fact, I'll say this here. From what I've heard, they've at least had some initial talks and made some sort of contract offer for those two players. I don't know all the details, but that's – asking around, that is my expectation that they've at least gotten that far. Now, where that leads or if that leads to anything, I don't know. But I do think the Jets are going to follow through on their plans to at least try.
The Jets have made initial contract offers for both Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. That's what ESPN senior NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler told me. Chris, you want these deals banged out right away?
100%. I think it's very important to get a deal done as soon as possible to send the message that when you have young homegrown talent that you draft and they come in here and perform, you reward them by paying them, and you just build your team through homegrown talent, which is so important. And, getting it done sooner has so many benefits. Like, if you don't want these guys to go and have a great season and you don't pay them, and then they require much more money to be paid. So if you get it done now, you can allow them to flourish without having to worry about paying them more money than you were going to pay them already, and just really send a nice message out with the new culture that you're trying to install. So ultimately, I think it's a great idea to get the contracts done as soon as possible.
So that's interesting. I actually disagree. And this is why. And it actually kind of applies to the same logic that you've used. So reverse psychology here a little bit. You've been on the record saying you can't judge one player based on what they've done with the prior coaching staff. If that's going to apply to Breece Hall, if that's going to apply to the rest of the roster, I think that has to apply to Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, right? I think the market is already set for these guys. I don't view anyone else who is going to be getting a big-time extension soon as someone to potentially reset the entire market. So the Jets have 2 years of contractual control. Why rush and give them this huge extension right now? Meanwhile, let's see what they do this season in a new offensive scheme, in a new defensive scheme with a defensive-minded head coach and a strong defensive coordinator with a young, innovative offensive coordinator. I want to see what these guys can prove this season with a new coaching staff. Would I be going crazy if the Jets signed both those guys to 4-year extensions for over 100 for Sauce Gardner around $150 million and Garrett Wilson $120 million? No, not at all. But I would prefer you picked up the 5th-year option, which I really, really like. So you have 2 years of control. I would prefer if you wait to the end of the year, see what they do this year, because who knows? Garrett Wilson can go off for 1,400 yards this year, and then it's like, all right, you really got to pay this guy. Or he doesn't fit the scheme and he has 700 yards, and that's your worst nightmare. And Sauce Gardner could be a top 2 cornerback like he was his first few years in the league, or he could be a top 7 guy like he was last year. I just want to see, there's a lot of moving variables for the upcoming season. I want to see how these guys look with a new coaching staff.
What you're saying makes a ton of sense, and I kind of agree in a way. But what you don't want to happen is you don't want the Jets to have a terrible year, a nightmare season. Say you go 4-13 or whatever you're going to go, and these players become unhappy. So paying them now kind of diminishes that risk of like them getting unhappy with a horrible season. Like you had them locked down. I mean, I know it doesn't matter because you have them on an extension anyway, but you want morale to be high. If they get paid now, regardless of how the season goes, their morale is going to be fine. So, and also what you said of the scheme fits makes I agree 100%. But I actually think Sauce Gardner will flourish in this scheme.
I completely agree. But
Yeah,
I mean, we also thought the Jets were going to win the Super Bowl in 2023.
Yes, there's no given for anything, especially with this organization. I 100% understand.
And that's my reasoning behind it. Again, I wouldn't be disappointed. It's just, for me, there's no benefit of just coming in, and there's no significant benefit, of coming in right now, rushing ahead of the season and trying to bang out a deal between these guys. That's my main thought process as to why I kind of want to wait until next season. Again, I don't know who's going to reset the market. The big deals have already come. I think if the Jets really wanted to pay and give these guys an extension, they should have done so early this offseason, right around when they paid Jamie and Sherwood, before the T. Higgins deal got done, before the Derek Stingley extension went down. They kind of sat on their asses all offseason, haven't made a move. So why now? That's my major question surrounding the New York Jets and when they will sign Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner to a contract extension. We heard from ESPN senior NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler. The Jets have already offered initial extensions to both those players, and where it goes from here, well, that's still up in the air. Chris, I want to pull up some takeaways from Jets OTAs, third time's the charm. Some of the takeaways we've seen. So the interesting thing about OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, media's at the facility every single day. OTAs, only 2 of the 12, I think, practices, media is actually in the building for. So we get limited news, and we do get to hear from all the coordinators. The first time all 3 coordinators have addressed the media as members of the New York Jets coaching staff. And then obviously Aaron Glenn, along with some players. We heard from Justin Fields. But I'm going to pull up this tweet here from Nick Faria, who talks about a quote from Chris Banjo saying Arian Smith has flashed on special teams as a returner. Quote, he's back there every day trying to improve as a potential punt returner. You want Arian Smith to take Xavier Gibson's job, Chris?
Yes, because of his speed, but no, because of his unreliable hands. I mean, if he had a problem with catching consistency in college, we cannot have him costing us games, really, with fumbling punts. That could cost you games. But however, if he just gets all those issues like cleaned up, which by the way, the reports have said he's getting better with that, he can really be a punt return threat with his speed. So I'm excited to see how camp goes, and we'll have a nice evaluation come that time. But I hope he can. I hope he can take Xavier Gibson's spot.
I completely agree. I mean, we see now you need guys on your roster who could do more than just one thing. And yet you have 53 spots on your roster. You need all 53 guys need to have more than just one trick. And I've said all along, the one trick I think for Arian Smith when the Jets drafted him immediately was his speed and just getting him open on a seam route, a vertical route down the field. If he's able to play special teams, that's only a bonus. You eliminate Xavier Gibson. In my opinion, there's no point of rostering someone just to be a returner, just to be a special teamer. So if Arian Smith's able to take that job and still play a role on offense, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Let's see. I had a few more tweets here from minicamp. Where are the ones that I wanted to pull up. All right, this one from Engstrand. This is an interesting one. I think we want to play fast, right? We want to be physical. We want to be aggressive. We want to be explosive. We want to be detailed. We want to show up on tape every week. Chris, what do you think the scheme looks like on offense for the Jets this year?
Well, I think the Jets are going to be a run-first team, given that
run first, but like air raid, spread, West Coast. I doubt it's West Coast, but actually, I can guarantee you it's not West Coast. That's Aaron Rodgers. Like, what scheme do they run with?
I mean, spread makes sense with Justin Fields' legs, and his threat is a scrambling.
I've said spread all along, yeah.
Yeah, they can get him in space with that. Then really the rushing attack is going to be what's on fire. And if the rushing attack heats up, that gives you a nice play action game, and you can get it to Garrett Wilson, start getting him some nice catches, maybe some deep balls. I love to see. My entire thing with getting Rodgers was I was so excited to see the Rodgers to Garrett Wilson deep ball connection, and I never really saw it. So I just want to see some deep balls from Justin Fields. I know he's not like a really polished passer by any means in terms of accuracy wise, but really if we just start getting him in rhythm and with some short passes, then opening him up, letting him play quarterback like Aaron Glenn has mentioned, I think Justin Fields could be really exciting.
Interesting. I'll ask you this: how many times do you think Justin Fields passes? How many pass attempts do you think Justin Fields has per game this season?
I think somewhere in the 20s, high 20s, low 30s. I mean, what's the average in the league?
Average.
Because I think it'll be like just below average
per game. Let's see. Getting completion. What's the average pass attempts? 33.29. And that was the Bears in 2024. I think Fields is going to be throwing 20, 22. May even not even see him eclipse that 20 mark, in my opinion. I think out of 22 pass attempts, I think 10 of them are screenplays. Like I don't expect Justin Fields to push the ball downfield, which, in my opinion, is completely fine. If you look at, let's see, his attempts with the Steelers this past season, we'll go game by game. Week 1, he had only 23 attempts. Week 2, he had 20. Week 3, he had 32. Week 4, he had 34. Week 5, he had 27. Week 6, he had 24.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends how the season goes. They're going to have to evaluate week after week and see if he's how comfortable he is and if they can really start using him as a passer to their full advantage. But if not, you just let him play easy. And I like you said, that's not much of a problem. But if we get aggressive, it can open the offense up a little more. But we have to see how he's playing. So we'll kind of read that as the season goes on.
Absolutely. I want this offense to score points. You can have a great defense. You could have a great defense. If you don't score on offense, you don't win. The phrase that defense wins championships is dead.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, would you really rather have no offense or all offense and no defense, or all defense, no offense? Like, I mean, both. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with either of them, but
all offense, no defense.
Yeah, all offense is more entertaining to watch, but you're not going to win a Super Bowl with
no, not you have a better chance of winning the Super. Okay, so. How bad is how bad in each scenario?
Yeah, like either like the Jets in 2020, like 2022.
Here's this. I'd rather have the number 1 ranked NFL offense and the number 32 ranked NFL defense than the number 32 ranked offense, because you're not going to win. You won't win.
You're not winning either way. At
yes,
that
you
point,
are. You have a way higher chance of winning if you have the best offense.
Yes, but you're not going anywhere in the playoffs. Like, you'll be a first or second round exit. You like we saw from the Bengals. They didn't even miss the playoffs. That was literally they didn't even make the playoffs. That was literally the Bengals had all offense and no defense.
Their offense wasn't that good though.
Their offense wasn't. I mean,
they had no run game.
Burrow and Chase were both like top 5.
They had no run game.
Respective statistics. I mean. Yeah, the Bengals are kind of a mess. They have holes to fill, just like us. But you have to have both solid units in order to win football games. And despite what I wanted them to do in this draft, having good trenches on both sides is also kind of a big part of it. So really, teams can still make the playoffs and win a playoff game or two with holes. Like, I know the Broncos were first round exits and they got blown out, but we see teams with some holes that have guys come up and play and are able to go from like on the depth chart, they go from like really low, then they come in and play some meaningful snaps. So I mean, that's what good coaching does to players. So even with the holes we have, if Fields is good and Tanner Engstrom is good offensive coordinator, we can be fine. We can make the playoffs. It's not out of the question. Is it going to happen? Is it 100% guaranteed? No, nothing is. But I don't think it's impossible.
Jax says agree with your take on how your offense needs to be great, but defense does win championships in a lot of cases. Jack, a defensive centered football team has not won a championship in a long, long time. If you look at with the exception of New England and that dynasty, Philadelphia obviously this year, Kansas City back to back, LA was more offensive focused, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, and then New England in 2019. Besides New England, all the teams that have won the Super Bowls, all the teams that have won Super Bowls in the past 10 years, are offensive focused teams.
Yes, it reflects how the game has evolved in terms of passing. I mean, now you have quarterbacks throwing for like a crazy amount of yards, and like it was never like that. Like the way that they push the ball downfield. So really, it just speaks how the game evolves. And now you need a quarterback. So that's why it's so important that either Justin Fields works out or we draft Nico in 26.
Defenses win championships. Quarterbacks win Super Bowls.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to have a good unit of both. Like I'm not saying it's one or the other that wins. Like you have to have your teams has to be really playing for each other, and you have to have a leader at the helm like Aaron Glenn. So that's why I'm so stoked for this regime.
I don't think Justin Fields can win a Super Bowl, though. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, it depends. Like I know at this point in this career, it's unlike
Jack. I'm talking. You said championships, not 2023 Jets. So that's what I was referring to there.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I have to find my train of thought again. But
I said Justin Fields can't win a Super Bowl. He won't win a Super Bowl.
Yes, yeah, I remember now. So I know it's hard to say he's going to develop anymore because we already have a solid sample size from him at the NFL level. But the thing is, like, if the Jets tailor a scheme around him and we have put a good offensive line in front of him, we can have a chance to see some pretty much a lot of improvement. Because in Chicago he had no O-line, and in Pittsburgh they were like they weren't using him to his full potential. They were kind of like playing him like scared, if you will, because he wasn't pushing the ball downfield at all. So
honestly, it doesn't even matter to me if they can go off to a 4-2. I don't care if the Jets win 8 games. I don't care if Justin Fields throws the ball 7 times a game. Like I'm more focused. Like it worked for Pittsburgh. So for example, it worked through 6 games for Pittsburgh. Why would they take the limitation off of him? Why, if it worked?
Well, why? Because you can get better results. Like you can.
Yeah, so perfect. Why are we focused? Why would we be focused on not getting better results and more worried about having Justin Fields unnecessarily push the ball downfield?
No, I'm saying if it's already working and you have room, then you can see if being aggressive can take your game, like make your offense even better. Which if you have the ability to push the ball downfield, your offense will be even better. The threat of that deep passing will open up the run game even more. And we know you can't leave that open for Breece Hall and the talent we have in our running back room. So ultimately, we are going to have to see how Justin Fields does and evaluate that throughout the season. But really, it depends on what he can do, because even if he's just like solid, we can still make the playoffs, let alone if he's actually getting into rhythm and throwing some crisp deep balls.
He has to be a top 10 quarterback for this team to make the playoffs.
I mean, he can probably be a game manager, and this team will make the playoffs if Aaron Glenn's a good coach.
Aaron Glenn, again, first-time head coaches rarely succeed at the NFL level. Let's keep that in mind.
Well, I mean, yeah, but how often do you see a coach like Aaron Glenn who has gone through every step of the way, like scout? He has worked with black bottom, like all the time.
Yeah.
So like, who else that is coaching today has like done that?
Mike Vrabel, played football similar to Glenn, went through all those.
We know how good Mike Vrabel is as a coach. So shit, I'd sign on that any day for Aaron Glenn to become Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, Chris, you be the encyclopedia. You have Wikipedia. You have Pro Football Reference. Let's see. NFL head coaches. We'll pull up the list. A lot of them: Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin. A lot of coaches, I'm saying, have gone through the pipelines.
Every head coach has never been a head coach at one point.
Correct. About 50% of NFL head coaches. Not even about 75% of NFL head coaches do not do well in their first season.
I mean, we just gotta hope it's like a man genius season, honestly.
Think of it this way. The first episode I ever did of any podcast, I was a lot more raw than I am now. It takes time to adapt in a new role.
100%. Now that I agree with you saying that, but that does not mean we're gonna let it slide if Aaron Glenn goes 3-14. Like that just proves to me that that you're not gonna do shit in your entire
That's not true. That is not
anything,
true.
bro.
That is
I
not
mean,
true. No, you can't. Justin Fields is quarterback.
You have to be able to maximize that.
He doesn't have a quarterback. He doesn't have a proven quarterback.
I mean, he's not proven, but you still have enough talent. If Justin Fields sucks, you can still put in Tyrod and win 7 games.
Okay, the floor is not 7 games.
I'm not saying the floor is 7 games at all. I'm saying
so what's the floor?
The floor is. I think the floor is either 5-12 or 4-13. I can't see them losing any less games than that because I have too much faith in Glenn. I actually don't think Glenn is going to be that bad. This is a nightmare scenario if they go to 3-14 or God only knows. But I don't think he'll go that bad. But if Justin Fields sucks, to your point, yes, Justin Fields unproven. If he's terrible, you can still put in Tyrod and salvage your season and not have a top 5 pick. At that point, it might be better to tank. But Aaron,
tanking's never good. Tanking's never the answer.
So you can get your free pass to Lenora Sellers or enter whatever quarterback you want to draft there. But I just think I can't see this team being that bad. I have too much faith in Aaron Glenn. I have faith that they might make a playoff push. I mean, if you can just escape the schedule before the bye and you can get to like even just 500 at that point, you have a serious chance to play some meaningful games. And I think there's a chance they can get better than 500 if they just play well the first 3 games and get themselves off to a good start. So ultimately, it all depends on how they start off the season, and after that, it's just we have to keep on evaluating and switching the scheme. Like something I'm looking forward to see how this regime does is switch their game plan week in and week out, especially after the bye week. Like we saw Robert Saleh way too committed to his scheme, and he was stubborn, wouldn't change a thing. Like that. That's probably why we lost so many games. Like we need to be able to adapt, like specifically to each team we're playing each and every week, and really best them and have a good game plan and be able to take advantage of their weaknesses. So ultimately, that's something Aaron Glenn definitely needs to be doing.
Tell me, Chris, if you think these are good NFL coaches.
Okay.
Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll,
Great.
Kyle Shanahan,
Great.
Tom Landry,
Great. Although I'm unfamiliar with who
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, like these are.
Do you not know who Jimmy Johnson is?
That sounds like a made-up name. I don't do NFL history, bro. Like I started watching.
You watch Fox NFL Game Day?
I don't know the guys by heart, so I don't know them by name.
So I'll just give you the list. Bill Belichick, first year as an NFL head coach, 6-10. Pete Carroll, first year as an NFL coach, fittingly so with the Jets, he went 6-10. Kyle Shanahan, first year as an NFL coach, he went 6-10.
Tom Landry, 6-10 season. I can live with
listen to this now. Tom Landry, who led the Dallas Cowboys to 2 Super Bowl wins and built that whole dynasty in Dallas, started off his first year 0-11-1. Jimmy Johnson, who won 2. Jimmy Johnson, who won back-to-back Super Bowls in Dallas and remains one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, started his first year as a head coach 1-15.
Those teams are probably barren of talent. The Jets are not barren of talent right now.
Let's see, what year was that? 1989 Cowboys. That's the first year of Jimmy Johnson. The Jets, if you think about it, Chris, other than like you talk about all this talent. Who's the talent? Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson. You can't build a team around
Quinnen Williams, Jamie Sherwood, Quincy Williams. Like there's multitude of guys. Our whole offensive line.
I mean, the offensive line is, in my opinion, remains unproven.
They're young and ascending. That's a perfect way to describe our offensive line. Young and ascending. They're all young and ascending.
Young and unproven too.
Unproven. I mean, AVT when healthy is an all-pro.
When healthy.
That doesn't mean he's unproven. I mean,
he hasn't proven he's able to stay healthy.
I mean, what the thing you can say about offensive line is that like there's some injury concerns on it. AVT's an injury concern. Like Olu got hurt last year, but besides that, I mean, like for injuries, I mean, was John Simpson hurt at all last year?
No, he played all 17 games.
Yeah, so John Simpson, is going to come in and be a quality player for you. It depends on how Membu is going to play. AVT when healthy is good, and then Olu, let's hope he can stay healthy. But when he's healthy, he's solid. And so, yeah, they're all young and ascending. Unproven, staying healthy, fine. But as you go on, they're only going to get better and gel more. Bro, I don't get that. I don't get that correlation at all because I never claimed to be an NFL historian, bro.
Okay, so let's put this into perspective. That's like if let me think of a good. Who'd you say? Okay, let me think. Who would you say is the best NBA coach of all time?
But I do not have ball knowledge in the NBA, bro.
Okay, so I can't even think of a good analogy here. That's like if I. Okay, I'm trying to think of a good analogy to insert. Yeah, what is the first name, Chris? That originated over before week 6 of the 2024 season.
Bro, I started watching 2021, bro, and I never read up on my NFL encyclopedia, so I could
not an NFL encyclopedia. Though.
I could name you. I can go ahead and name you every team's coach, like every team's coach now. But I couldn't tell you anything about like.
I'd be concerned if you couldn't.
No. I have a broad knowledge of NFL history, but I wouldn't know anything in depth like any specific coaches.
Broad means pretty in depth.
Broad means general.
Yes, if you have a general knowledge, you should know who one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history is, and not say
bro.
You just said you have a standard level of.
So let me correct myself. I have a below average knowledge of NFL history.
That's not broad, though.
Yeah, so mistake on choice of words there. So a little bit not great NFL history knowledge.
Hey, Chris, did you know that a forward pass was thought to be illegal when football first started?
That's a cool fun fact.
Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash that like button, hit subscribe.
I know who Don Shula is.
Connor Long, sticking with you all here on a Saturday evening edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. The Knicks are on. It's their last game of the season, so I'm sure a lot of you have.
Oh yeah, last game of the season.
77-90 as the third quarter begins to close down. Appreciate all your support. Throw all your questions for us in the chat. Super chats come up immediately. Call into the show with the pinned comment. Let's head over to the phone lines. First up today is Kyle Clifton. We don't have the song, but I can do it myself. Kyle, how you doing?
I'll have to do without the song. It's good to talk to you guys.
How you doing, Kyle?
What's up?
I'm doing all right. You know, I was there when they popularized the forward pass, I'm pretty sure. I at least have seen a Jets game inside Shea Stadium, so that's how old I am. Yeah, so I mean, I think our expectations have got to be a little tempered, right? We have to allow ourselves to be surprised by this team, right?
Yes.
We understand it's Glenn's first year. We understand that you know, sometimes a lot of head coaches don't succeed right out of the box when they implement their program, but you know, he could be the exception that proves the rule. I want to give ourselves the ability to be surprised. We don't know enough about this offensive line. They haven't proven themselves as run blockers yet, to me. But it's going to be a slightly different scheme. I think we're going back to a zone scheme this year. That's going to probably benefit some of these guys like Membu and Tip and Brees, quite frankly. If we can run the ball effectively, everything goes off that. And, you know, I don't think we quite have the pieces to compete yet. Like, we need an X. We need, like, a Mike Evans type guy to take the top off. But, you know.
That could be Keenan Allen, by the way. That's who I've been talking about for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, I see him more as a possession guy at this stage. But
he better suits that role than anyone on the roster, though, right now. That's
right. I mean, considering that Lazard can't catch, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's just you know, when you think about what Taylor could be in year 2, and you know what Arian Smith could be as a gadget guy, or Corley if one of them were to pop, and then you know if we were able to retain Garner and Garrett Wilson, there's a chance to be good, not this year, but the following year. And that's what we should if we surprise and we threaten for a playoff spot this year, that's gravy.
Absolutely.
100%.
Now, do you want them to pay Garrett and Sauce right now, or do you prefer waiting till next offseason?
I think that paying them now is probably best because you're only saving yourselves money if you pay them now.
Yep.
I understand that 1,000%. Kyle, we appreciate the call. You got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the only person that I think that we probably have to wait and see on is JJ, and we might have to string him along a little bit with the tag because of the injury. And that's unfortunate for him because he's such a great guy and a great teammate. But that's kind of how I feel about it. It's great talking to you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
Kyle, have a great night.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton starts us off here on the show. Great call as always. Kyle knows his Jets, and he knows who Jimmy Johnson is. Shout out to Kyle. Appreciate Kyle joining us here on the show. If you guys want to call into the show, you could do so with the pinned comment at the top of the chat. But if you just want to get your thoughts out there and question, comments, thoughts, you can submit all of those via the chat. Smash that like, hit subscribe, completely free, and it helps us grow significantly. Let's keep it going with your calls. Global Beast joins us next here on the show. Beast, you're global now?
Hey, well, I've been global for a long time. I've learned a lot since then. And right now, our Knicks are not looking so hot. I'm like, come on, boys. You got to pick your heads up out of the toilet and start playing some dirty down basketball. You know, we don't pay you to sit around and look pretty. Forget that nonsense. And we better start looking at June 1st because that's right. That starts tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
Any Jet points, Beast?
What happened?
Any Jet points?
We better get some boys. We're going to need extra backups because in case some of our boys go down, we better have backup plan because if we don't, you know what that means?
Yeah, we need depth.
We ain't going to have that this year. There will be no repeat of last year. You can forget that. You can put that in the toilet because this year we're not backing down from a fight. It's called Don't Sing It. You know what this means? Bring it. And what number are you wearing? Are you wearing number 56?
66, Joe Tippmann.
Oh, okay. Because I thought if you were wearing 56, I'm like, nice call. There you go. That's the spirit. Well, let's see what our boys can do this year. They better do something this year. I expect 13-4 on my plate. That's what I want.
I love the optimism, Beast.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. And someone's birthday's coming up very soon.
Lil Joey.
That's right.
Am I invited, Beast?
You guys are already
What about Bobby Beasley? Bobby's invited, right?
Oh, sorry. Denied.
No Bobby?
He gets the denied trick. It's called sorry until I see change. No deal, no chance.
Case adjourned.
That's right. As they say. All right, next question, please. Let's move along to the next caller.
How old is Lil Joey going to be, Beast?
Oh, he's going to be one.
One.
Chris wants to know Chris B wants to know if he's invited.
He's already in. He's automatically in.
Oh yeah.
Automatic. Auto. It's called once you're auto, you're all auto. Not the car. Automatically in. Once you're in, you're pushing for life. But don't worry about our boys. We're going to be doing good. But I think the best matches we're going to have is against Buffalo. And Buffalo, let me just say this. They're going to give us a 15-round knockout drag affair. There's going to be blood. There's going to be some teeth being knocked out. And I do say
Beast, we appreciate the call. You got any final thoughts?
Hey, let me just say this. To the Bills, you better have a casket ready because we will make you rest in peace.
My name is Grasso and I love the Jets more than everyone else. I am a highlight warrior. Aaron Glenn is the best coach they could hire, but under 4 games won and he must be fired. I love every 2026 QB just based on highlights. I have watched 5 minutes of Nico's highlights and he is a Hall of Fame. Arm strength is all that matters. This isn't the same old Jets. THE 2025 Jets are different. Justin Fields is the franchise guy, or Nico will be drafted in 26. Highlights are all that matter.
I have to throw in a Jimmy Johnson bit into that song.
Oh yeah, baby.
I am called along, and I am fucking annoying to most. My takes and pessimism annoy people. According to Chris, I'm illogical, and I take that as a compliment. I am done putting blind faith into you regimes, and the Jets need a show me they're not just the same old Josh McCown would have been the best 18 no matter what Grasso says. I love the Jets with all my heart, boy, it must show me now.
I think Aaron Glenn's going to be a great coach, and if they win under 20 games this season, yes, he must be fired.
And Josh McCown would have brought us to the Super Bowl year 1.
Yes, are you kidding me?
Dude, I'm so glad they didn't hire Josh McCown.
Here's the thing. Aaron Glenn has to, I think Aaron Glenn's a fine leader, yeah, but he has to, get all these antics together. Josh McCown is just, a well-respected guy who leads in silence.
What antics does he have to get
You don't know who Jimmy Johnson is.
That doesn't make a difference. What antics does Aaron Glenn have to get together?
The quotes, and, there is some flashiness involved there, and I think Aaron Glenn's a fine leader, but Josh McCown
leader? I think that's a bit of an understatement.
Josh McCown is one who just puts his head down and doesn't need to cause any commotion. And
Josh McCown cries at press conferences. Don't need that guy's mad coach.
What press conference was it?
What press conference was it? It was after it might have been his retirement.
You don't even know. Here's the thing. You say he cried.
It was his retirement. It was his retirement. I know for a fact
he cried during a retirement for leaving the game that he loved to play most, and that's the reason you don't want to hire him as your head coach.
After a game.
That doesn't. No, you just said it was after his retirement, though.
No, there was multiple instances. We need a leader who's going to steady the ship, not cry during adversity.
Yes, thank you, Jack. Every player cries during a retirement speech. Quick question. What number did Josh McCown wear when he was quarterback of the Jets?
15, buddy. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, Chris. Oh, yeah.
This kid has, bro, just because I don't know who a random Jimmy Johnson is does not mean.
Okay, Jimmy Jets in the chat. He just called Jimmy Johnson a random. Can we get a song made for that tonight, please? Thank you.
Jimmy Johnson, bro. All bunch
Thank you, Jimmy Jets. Speaking of Jimmy Jets, I've been harboring this clip. I've been harboring this clip in my soundboard for about a week now. I think it's time we debut it.
Yo, let me introduce the crew. The next gen's in the booth, got Connor Long, Mr. Prove It To Me Now, spouting logic over heart. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Talking over everyone, cause it's my show.
Sir, you
and
know
I'll
it.
Prove it to you. Long suffering Mets and Nets, fan feeling perpetually blue. Then there's Chris Grasso, hat collection on display. Curly hair flowing, rocking Panthers, crop tops all day. Man crush Nico, hoping for 26, that's the play. Clapping for no reason, what else can I say? Keep the faith, Jack Cotter in the closet. Puppets all around, realistic takes on the 2020 Jets, rarely profound. 6 wins is the ceiling, that's the honest sound. Finally I can breathe, what I meant to say was not Super Bowl bound. And Joshua Lever's here, chewing while he speaks, it's true. Coke Zero in hand, ready to review. New to the scene, but Brooklyn's in the view. Cue it up, Connor Ritz and Wyatt, nothing through and through. Brooklyn, baby! Finally the man of the hour. Jimmy Jets taking over the show, dropping membership subs like 3-pointers on the floor. Hot takes be his flow, the next gen Jet show is on a roll. JTS, Jets, killer.
Oh yeah, baby.
What an illustrious piece of art there, constructed by the great Jimmy Jets. Jimmy, I've listened to that a lot. I've saved it obviously from your message to me on Discord, and I thought tonight was a great way to great timing to play it. So I appreciate that, Jimmy. And he said you got it, referring to the Jimmy Johnson song. So thank you, Jimmy. That will be debuted tomorrow, depending when you, my sound engineer, producer, musician, is able to crank that out. I've noticed the Knicks are on, and we haven't heard too many of these.
Listen, it was always looking like a 2-year window. We were supposed to lose to the Celtics. We beat them. Obviously, didn't capitalize. Not looking too good.
You're already signing.
I'm not even ruling out a fourth quarter comeback because the Knicks have done that. We've seen the Knicks do that so many times this playoffs. So I mean, we're chilling either way. We're gonna get Giannis this offseason. We're getting Giannis, and we're gonna win the title next year anyway. Knicks in 4 in next year's title.
Next year's. It was going to be this year's title about 40 minutes ago when the show started, but now it's next year. We've already kind of shifted our focus, right?
I mean, no, we can still come back. I mean, it's 83 to 94. Isn't even that bad with 9 minutes left.
You know the drill, Jimmy. You know the drill. You've been here a while. You know the drill.
What's the excuse? I mean, it was always a 2-year window. This team needs time to gel. We need more time to gain some chemistry.
No, but you say that
the game out of it's not even out of the question. that clutch player of the
You
NBA.
say they need time
Josh
to
Hart
gel, yet
sucks.
the whole thing is they traded 27 first-round picks for a role player because they all
A
played
role player? Oh,
Villanova
I like
together, so they're gonna have the most chemistry among any team in the NBA. And now the excuse is they need to gel. Give me a break. Their coach is one of the worst in the NBA.
That's wild. You don't know what you're
How
talking
is that
about.
wild? Tom
It
Thibodeau
sucks.
is one of the worst coaches in the NBA.
That's a off the walls take. Bro.
How?
What do you mean how? He brought this Knicks team back to relevancy. Him and Jalen Brunson
He
single-handedly.
was voted the worst coach in the NBA by the players.
What? When?
the NBA PA voted Tom Thibodeau earlier in the season the worst NBA head coach.
What the fuck do they know? It's New York versus the world. Like, all these other bums. Like the Nets are the little brother team, bro. You can't be
Kyle,
talking
voice
about
of
any
reason.
basketball.
They don't have the picks left for Giannis. The Nets have like 27 first-round picks in the next 2
The
years.
Knicks are winning tonight still, bro. I don't know what you're on about.
You just said you literally just said you're winning.
No, I said it's a
not even
2-year
watching
window
the
anyway.
game.
I said it's a 2-year window anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Someone who roots for the right basketball team and will be moving on to the NBA Finals joins us next.
Nope.
Indy Jets joins the show. Indy, what's going on? We haven't heard too many Go New York goes tonight.
Knicks fans have been super quiet tonight. They're chill. They're relaxed. You know,
We're
maybe
trying
they're
to
sleeping. I don't
win
know.
this game, baby. Come on now. Come on.
Yeah, but hey, Chris, I have a quiz. I have an NFL quiz for you.
I'll remove myself. I'll sit and watch backstage.
All right. Yes, sir. What's up?
Can you name the 2 NFL teams who won a Super Bowl who was not in the NFL?
Won the Super Bowl. Packers is one.
No, Packers were part of the NFL. There was 2 teams
So
that won a Super Bowl
the Jets
that
right?
were not.
Yeah,
2
in the
teams
AFL.
that were not in the NFL.
Yes, the Jets were in the AFL, so that's one, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So the other one.
Who's the other?
Yes, it's. Yeah, I don't know the other one. I'm not gonna cheat and Google it, but the Jets were one.
You got half of them right. Yes. The Kansas City Chiefs the following year.
Ooh. I mean,
were
I'm used
also
to
in
getting
the AFL.
Yep, and they beat the Jets in that championship game to move
My
on.
internet's cutting out.
I said they beat the Jets that year in the championship game to ultimately, and it was a home game for the Jets. I remember that. I know that it was a home game for the Jets, and Kansas City ultimately won. Despite obviously what Matt Snell did for that team as the running back the year before when they won the Super Bowl. They tried to replicate that a second year in '69, didn't work.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a great little quiz, that there's 2 teams that won a Super Bowl that were not part of the NFL yet.
Yeah.
The Jets made the
but
entire
A+
AFL.
forgetting the Jets. But hey, I gotta go back. It's fourth quarter. I gotta go back to I'm going back to the Pacers game, but
Yeah,
I just wanted to stop in.
The Knicks just missed free throws. It's all right.
Yeah, But hey, a great job on Jake's show the other day. I didn't get to catch all of it, but I got to talk to you. You did a
call too.
What's that?
I said thank you for the call yesterday as well.
Oh yeah. You do you guys do a great job, and Connor, sitting in for Jake. He just takes the pressure. You skipped school, I heard.
I wish I did. I didn't. I did the show from school. Like Gator.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Gator sent me, so I was literally just going to use I was in like the Spanish room, so I was just planning on using the whiteboard as my background with like a bunch of stupid Spanish phrases that we spend 2 hours a day learning that we'll never need
Nice.
for the rest of our lives. But then Gator sent me it right before, so I was like, perfect, I'll use this. And then at a point I was like, Connor, where are you? So then I took it off, and yeah, I was doing the show from school.
That even makes it better, Connor, because when you can multitask. Connor's hosting YouTube. Oh, and by the way, still getting educated. Great job. Hey, keep it up, guys.
Thank you, Indy.
Let's go Pacers.
Yes, sir. Have a great night. Ladies and gentlemen, Indy Jets checking in with us here on the program. Shout out to Indy. Awesome caller. Appreciate all of his support He does a great job, talking about this team. Does a great job supporting the show. So Indy is the best. Appreciate your support. As always, smash the like, hit subscribe. Gonna wrap up here soon. So throw your final questions, comments, thoughts in before we wrap up here. I mean, you got to throw some school slander in. It's prison. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't understand why that's so hard for people to wrap their heads around.
People can become successful in doctors and lawyers through school, but school isn't for everybody, and that's fine. Like, obviously, Connor, you have a talent.
Thank you. You do too. Plumbing. That's your secret.
Thank you. You don't really need that. I mean, electrician business, I'm gonna own my own company. So
here's the thing. I need school because, like, I just need to, like, I need to be competent in school and be able to get into a good college. Like, I need to get in a broadcasting program where I can thrive. Like, that's my biggest thing. So, like, I got to do what I got to do to then enjoy down the road. Because, like, as I think it's crazy stupid in my opinion, but it's like, if I don't have all A's, I can't go to Newhouse. If I don't have all A's, I can't go to Penn State.
And you're gonna have to do some extra hours, but you're gonna have to do some community service work and shit. Have fun with that.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, I've locked in recently. Like, we got finals coming up. These things like school. This is what I hate about school. School has the opportunity to be such a great thing. Such a great thing. They could set kids up, every single kid, to have success in life. You could set kids up to learn about mortgages, learn about finances, things of that nature. But no, they take time to teach us about quotes from Romeo and Juliet books that I don't even know.
I mean, Juliet. I mean, I did enjoy watching that movie in class.
We're gonna wrap up here soon. 48 minutes in. We'll end with a few fun questions here in the chat. Again, May football talk. Never much to discuss. There was one about. Oh my god. Chris, you stated you didn't know much about basketball. You didn't know basketball knowledge. Now you know about draft picks and role players.
No, I mean, I know Knicks. I'm a playoff Knick fan. I mean, I could talk about the game. I can't just talk about the league in general, like specific players. Kind of like NFL history, where I don't know specific players and coaches, but I can talk knowledgeably about the game.
Let's see,
like,
where were we?
I know. Like, I can name players that are good and bad, like Josh Hart not playing good at all. Fucking sucks.
So you were aware of Altoon or Keyshawn Johnson? What number did Altoon wear?
I think it's like high 80, so it's 88 or 89.
Okay, 88. You got it.
Thank you.
What draft pick was Keyshawn Johnson?
Yeah, bro, I don't.
Number 1 overall. How do you not know that?
Number 1 overall, bro. Okay, bro.
You need to know that. The fact that the Jets selected a wide receiver with the number 1 overall pick.
I mean, he had to be generational. He had to be generational, which, I mean, generational.
He was generational, not with the Jets, though. He was generational, not with the Jets, though. Appreciate you all joining us here on the Saturday edition of Next Gen Jets. Chris Grasso, Connor Long here with you. Appreciate all of your support. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. Going to wrap up here soon. So appreciate all your support with Jake Asman yesterday, and we appreciate you all joining us here. Again, I appreciate the real ones. Like, numbers are definitely tough this time of year in May. There are not too many real May football fans out there. I'm going to start putting this back out on Twitter. Like, streaming on Twitter ups the viewership a lot. But, hey, you guys are the real ones. So we appreciate you all sticking with us almost an hour here. Also, the Knick game is on. So appreciate those who stopped watching the Knicks get slaughtered to join Chris and I here on this Saturday evening. Appreciate you all. Chris, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks game, it's not looking too promising. I won't rule out anything because we have seen the Knicks do some miraculous things as playoffs. But listen, if not this year, there's still another chance next year. I mean, we already proved we can dethrone the Kings, slay the beast, if you will, and beat the Celtics. So anything can happen. We can continue building our team. Obviously not through the
Knicks
draft.
and 7 Beast?
Draft, but
so far I'm not liking these numbers.
Thank you, Beast. Yeah, Chris, it went from the Knicks were winning the finals this year to what? Next year is now the thing?
That's how it goes when you are a fan of a specific, I can't talk, particular organization, but I'm not worried about the Knicks. I mean, this year, obviously, it sucks we didn't capitalize on our opportunity that we had when beating the Celtics, but really next year is also another good chance. So I'm excited to learn more about basketball, read my NFL encyclopedia so Jimmy Jets can stop clowning me, and yeah, that's basically it.
Nets will use their 26 first-round picks trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. You heard it here first. Giannis Antetokounmpo will be a Brooklyn Net ahead of the 26 regular season. We appreciate you all. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. Back tomorrow, 7 p.m. EST. Myself, Chris, Josh, and Jack. Appreciate you all. He's Chris Grasso. I'm your host, Connor Long. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, JTS. Jets. Peace out.